Welcome back, once again adventurers, to Let's Play ChäoS Child. In the last episode, Takuru and Kazuki realized that maybe going out to find the portal devices scattered around Shibuya on foot might not have been the best plan, considering the fact that not only did they run into a trio of monsters, but even more monsters were manifesting out of the portals themselves. That being said, there are still police officers around Shibuya who are trying to make sure that people are safe and evacuated as quickly as possible. Although one police officer had the misfortune of having an entire horde of creatures chasing after him. And on top of that, Takuru and Kazuki had run into the officer's colleague when they were attempting to return to Hekio Academy, and they were evacuated by the second officer, but they returned to Hekio anyway the following morning, along with Shinji, Sarika, and Kurusu. Now, at this point in time, Takuru is basically jotting down all the intel that they've gathered on the portal's locations thus far. Now, we've already heard Ito's, intel. That basically there are a pair of portals, one at Shibuya Station and the other in front of the police station. But we're not going to do that. We're actually going to pick the wrong choices here, so we'll place one down at Tokyo Department Store, even though there might very well be a portal in this area to begin with. But you know what? We're going to put one way down here.
Twoつ見つけたよ。ああ、でもそのうち1個は昨日の昼のニュースで中継されてたところだけど。
The one where the reporter was brutally murdered.
それってサインシティの裏だったな。
Sign City was a pair of buildings right on the west side of Shibuya Station. It was a hotel and office complex with its own private railroad. It had survived the earthquake 6 years ago, which is actually kind of impressive considering what happened.
道玄坂を上がっていく途中で小さな路地を入る。
It looks like Kurusu and Sarika were working together on that one. In Donganzaka, huh?
もう1個は107のすぐ目の前。
And the second one was by the 107
道
building.
玄坂の途中と。
Is that one over there?
107の目の前。
I should mark that information down too. The 107 is just here, obviously. But again, we're actually going to pick the wrong choice this time. It should also be noted that were it not for the Committee of Zero's convenient patch, the entire map of Shibuya would be in Japanese kanji, which would actually make this not impossible to solve, but incredibly difficult, especially for myself. We'll go here. Shibuya Fire Station, which is not the 107 building.
僕が警察から聞いた情報と一致してる。
Does it now?
僕らが直接見つけたのは1個。パルク前にあった。
Yeah, that was the one that we were at yesterday. It's all the way over there. And I see there's the Maywa building on this corner here. Belonging to the Maywa party.
警察はポータル装置を中心とした半径約100メートルのエリアがモンスターの行動範囲だって考えてるみたいだ。
100-meter radius, eh? That was probably just as close as any of them dared to get. Well, that's actually not surprising at all. Of course, there was a chance that even if you got that close, the monsters wouldn't see you or they'd attack you outside the area. Considering the fact that there are several of them, they could pretty much wander around wherever they like.
警察はポータル装置の場所を全部掴んでるのか？
ああ、みんなが見つけたもの以外だと。
We're definitely not the ones that I marked, but nobody's actually bringing that up. And Takuru automatically noting down that seems about right.
へえ。
駅をぐるっと取り囲んでるみたいだな。
なんか意味があるのかな？
Curious. Apparently most of the, well, not all of them, but most of them are cloistered around the station. Does it mean anything?
渋谷にいる人たちに駅を使わせたくないとか？
Who? The police? Or the monsters?
どうして？
Yeah.
それは俺に聞かないでくれよ。
Yeah, it is all somewhat peculiar, isn't it?
ねえ、花ちゃん、どうしてなのかわかる？
I don't think she has any idea as to why the portals appeared where they were. Kazuki was still staring at her feet. It's understandable that she still feels guilty about the fact that the devices exist at all, considering that it was her power that brought them into being.
ああ、ごめん。花ちゃんが悪いって言ってるんじゃないよ。ただ、どうしてかなって不思議だっただけ。
意図なんてないよ。すべては偶然の産物だ。
Can we say that with absolute certainty to Kuru? I spoke as if to reprove Serika. It was just as Nightheart told me.
説明しただろ。和樹の能力はコントロールできない。
Indeed, considering the nature of her abilities.
人がよく通る場所に装置が出現しているのがその証拠だ。そういう場所の方が和樹の妄想がより反響しやすい。
Now that I think about it, it probably doesn't even matter whether or not the people echoing Kazuki's delusions even play SO2, let alone ever heard of it.
なるほど。
Don't tilt your head in confusion when you say you understand. You don't understand at all. Oh, little do you realize, Takuru Miyashiro, but, yeah, that isn't entirely true either.
でもまずいよな。
まずいって何が？
ヒカリオにさ、人がたくさん集まって立てこもってるらしいんだよ。
Wait, there are people trapped in the Hikariwo building?
一体誰が？駅に残ってた人たちは避難させるって話じゃなかったか？
Maybe they couldn't get to some people. Shibuya had been put under a heavy curfew yesterday. The police had gone around evacuating anyone they could find. Last night all the train companies stopped transit to Shibuya Station. They weren't sure that the station would be safe. The station had been shut down and the shutters lowered, but also the Hikaruwo building is located right here. A lot of people have been trapped then, and there was a big debate online about how to get them out. As of this morning, one of the railroad companies had put together a desperate plan to send a train to the station and get the people out.
それとは別に、あえて避難しなかった連中がヒカリオにも集まってるんだと。ほら、宮下公園にホームレスがいっぱいいただろ。あの辺の連中だよ。
Ah, and there's Miyashita Park as well.
なるほどな。あそこにいた人たち、みんな帰る場所がないから。
Even if they escaped Shibuya. Then was Gen there too? Who knew how safe it would be?
駅って封鎖されているのよね。なんだか6年前みたい。
I don't think there were giant monsters roaming around 6 years ago. And I don't think that I don't entirely recall the stations being shut down either.
そう思わない？タク。
そういうこと言うなよ。
Also very odd that you would bring up New Gen in this situation now of all times, Serika and Oe. A month ago I would have been so excited, but only because I wasn't directly involved. But now things were different. Indeed they are. I was partially to blame for this. I couldn't feel any excitement at all. Well, we were the ones who dragged Kazuki into this. We all tried to come up with plans to fix things, but no one had any real ideas. We all knew the answer from the beginning. Since there was no way to control Kazuki's power, there was no way for her to get rid of her delusions either. Which is another problem. After about 2 hours, we started to realize that it might not be safe to stay at the school and decided to head home. And we have absolutely no idea when or even if these delusions will inevitably disappear.
タクル、あなた帰る場所ないでしょ。うちに戻ってきたら。
And Kurusu once again insisting upon Takuru that he go back to living at Aoba Dorm. By home she meant Aoba Dorm. Yeah, but Takuru doesn't want to go back there based upon how he felt about his parents at the time. And there is that man, Wataru Sakuma again. She was right that I couldn't go back to Miyashita Park. There might be monsters there now. So long, RV. So long.
タクって今、花ちゃんの部屋にいるんだよね。
Well, it's not a permanent solution.
やらしいよな。
God damn it, Ito. Now of all times? Kazuki shook her head furiously.
なあ宮代、風呂とか入ってるのか？脱衣所で風呂上がりにばったりみたいなラッキースケベイベントには遭遇したか？
That was all Ito seemed to care about.
伊藤くん、いい加減にして。そういうの本当にあるのかな。
I'm surprised Kurusu hasn't, actually punched Ito.
だってずっと一緒にいるんだぜ。それぐらいのハプニングはあっても。
Kazuki's face turned bright red as she pounded the wall. Well,
そういうのはないと。そうか。そりゃ悪かった。
it was rare to see Kazuki so upset.
それでタクル、どうするの？うちに来る？
いや、行かない。
But I refuse, once again. Your fervent wish has been denied, Nono Kurusu.
和樹を一人にはできない。
だったら二人とも来ればいいわ。
それもダメだ。寮に危険が及ぶ可能性だってある。
Yeah, that is true. If the others start echoing Kazuki's delusions, well, actually, that can only happen if Kazuki would speak as well. But of course, knowing Sakuma's true nature, unbeknownst to Takuru and Kurusu at this moment in time, the dorm is far from a safe haven. And on top of that, Nightheart, aka Takumi Nishijo himself, has basically said that the Committee of 300 themselves are actually observing the situation. Yeah. If the committee actually starts to act directly, that'll make things even more complicated than they need to be.
そんなことは。
You can't say that
タク、それでいいの？
Yeah, as I was just saying before, Kurusu, you can't say that the dorm isn't in danger.
あ、
そっか。それじゃあ私たちは帰ろう。ほら、のんちゃんも。あ、ちょっとセリカ。タク、花ちゃん、バイバイ。
Serica smiled and waved, then grabbed Ito and Kurusu by the hand and went to leave the room.
タクル、カズキのこと頼むわよ。何かあったらすぐに私に連絡すること。いい？
Will do.
なあ。
Kurusu looked like she wanted to say more, but Serica dragged her out of the room before she could. Kazuki and I were left alone in the club room.
勝手に決めたけど、よかったかな。もう部屋に入れたくないならそう言ってほしいんだけど。
She shook her head again. That was all she'd been doing lately.
でも
But then she suddenly started to talk. She'd been so insistent about not talking when everyone else was around, with very good reason. Did that mean she trusted me?
セリカ先輩のこといいの？
I don't think, yeah, I don't think Serica is the one who could be considered upset.
いいのって？
タクル先輩が私の部屋来るとセリカ先輩怒るかも。
Replace Serica with Kurusu and you would definitely be closer to the truth.
だってタクル先輩とセリカ先輩付き合ってるんでしょ？
は？いやいやいや、付き合ってないし。ん？
だっていつも一緒だったかもだから。
それは幼馴染だからってだけだ。
Yeah, for a, well, although realistically, for a grand total of 6 years.
付き合ってないんだ。知らなかったかも。
Had Kazuki gotten mad back there because she didn't want Serica misunderstanding things? No, I think she was definitely upset because of Ito's insinuations there. Yeah, but if so, she'd be wasting her time.
それにしても、和樹がそんな誤解をしていたなんてな。少し意外だ。他人に興味なさそうに見えたから。
Yeah, you were usually focused on SO2.
さてと、僕たちもそろそろ帰ろう。ここも危ないだろうから。
Then I realized, yeah, speaking of which, then I realized Kazuki had sat down at the PC to play SO2. And she had her headphones on.
っていつの間にゲーム始めてた？
Yeah, she, really is a gaming ninja, is Hana Kazuki. Also, the fact that, remember last time that she really didn't like playing SO2 on her low-end PC, and the newspaper club computer is a far higher grade tech. Sheesh. She must have really been excited to play her game. Kazuki's gaze was locked on the monitor. She didn't look away for an instant. Her concentration was palpable. If I interrupted her, she might punch me instead of the wall. It wouldn't hurt to let her play for a while, since she was denied previously. Since I didn't have much to do while she was playing her game, I decided to go up to the roof. Of course, I didn't go to the back. I just went up past the crumbling stairs to look outside. The portal device was still floating out there. Same as always. But unlike the one in front of Parku, there were no bodies anywhere. Just a red stain on the floor, which is all that is left of Riko Haida. Were monsters not going to appear from this one? Well, it would actually be somewhat inconvenient if they did. Which would certainly make for an interesting theory. However, we can't say anything for certain. I felt an indescribable terror welling up within me. It was so scary being here alone, in this place. I ran back to the club room. And time passes, and now it is the afternoon. Once Kazuki started her game, she wouldn't take her headphones off no matter how much I yelled at her. She was totally lost within her game, and had totally forgotten I'd ever existed, along with the outside world. That's right, that's who Hana Kazuki was. An elite gamer. She wouldn't normally use her power to save me, regardless of her risks, or let me stay in her room. Normally this is who she was. I've been living with her in the same room for a few days, and so I'd forgotten that. Still, I was amazed how she could play a game for so long without any breaks. Yeah, some people just have that constitution. Didn't she ever have to go to the bathroom? God damn it. Actually, I remember the Cool Cat Press had once done an article on gamers who never left their seats. They said a true gamer would rather keep playing than to take the time to go to the bathroom. So if they had to go, they used a plastic soda bottle or something like that. I would actually dispute that by saying that even though as much of a dedicated gamer as the likes of Daru is, even he wouldn't go that far unless, yeah. When I read the article, I thought it had to be fiction. But watching Kazuki, I wasn't so sure. Wait, did Kazuki ever go in soda bottles? Now there is a question you don't want to say aloud.
いやいやいや、何変なことを考えてるんだ僕は。
Yeah, that would definitely net you a punch in the face. Ever since I started living in the same room as her, I'd started having more and more delusions like that. Maybe it was just because I was a boy undergoing puberty. But later I'd come to hate myself for feeling that way, given all that was going on. And speaking of punching, a huge noise almost caused me to jump up in the air. Kazuki had hit the wall again. What had happened this time to upset her? Something in SO2, obviously. I looked outside the window. The sky was turning red. It was surprisingly noisy outside. There wasn't a single person inside or outside the school. But the noise was coming from the police sirens on the ground and media helicopters up above. There are still people out there. The media decided it was too risky to head into Shibuya directly, and so they were forced to do their reporting from the sky. Still, it felt like they'd been there all day from morning to night. I was amazed they hadn't gone bored. Well, it is a pretty dramatic event. Without anyone here in Shibuya, it wasn't like there was anything that could happen, aside from the fact that the monsters might actually escape Shibuya. And there is a sound. Very ominous sound. And I thought I heard a different noise than the sound of the helicopter rotors. I held my breath and listened. It didn't seem like I was imagining it. I could hear the sound. A very distinctive sound. It was a sound that I'd normally never pay any attention to, but a sound that I definitely shouldn't have heard in this building. Someone's footsteps were coming down the hall. Well, at least it's not ominous knocking this time. Although that being said, whoever's walking down the hall. Very suspicious indeed. But I believe that is going to bring an end to this episode of Let's Play Chaos Child. And when we return, adventurers, we shall have to scope out the source of these footsteps, because we are definitely not alone at Hekio Academy. As always, adventurers, until next we meet.